Hey, I'm making this video and it's a little different. What you see here is actually pictures I found on the computer of my Marvel Legends display. And currently I don't have those shelves up and the display set up, space-wise and all. Uh, Plan to later on in the future, but I'm sure some people have been wondering my story in Marvel Legends, just how many figures I have, and is it a few, is it a lot, what's the story? And by looking at the pictures here, you could tell I have a lot. uh, it's most of them, and I'm talking, when I say Marvel Legends, I do mean all the related lines that Toy Biz had back then, all the 6-inch compatible lines, stuff like that. It's just one umbrella term when you say Marvel Legends. Looking at the figures, you can see it's all the villains in the top, all the heroes in the bottom. And just to talk a little bit about it, most of that stuff I was in on uh, the ground floor. Like when they first hit, I was buying it from Series 1 on. And so, yeah, I'm I guess you could say old school collector from the start. Later on, or I should say, I had the 90s Marvel figures by Toy Biz, but when they came out with the Legend Series 1, I could just tell it was just like miles apart from what we previously had in terms of Marvel figures into what we eventually got with Legend Series. I mean, it was just like such leaps and jumps forward that you'd be surprised. Like the same company made figures from before is the same company making the stuff now. It was just like such a drastic jump that you would think it would be a different company. But looking back on it back then, I can honestly say that there was a whole different energy in terms of the collecting community back then. The internet wasn't as popular in terms of like streaming videos, YouTube. I don't even think YouTube was around back then. No, they weren't. Not when Legends first hit. Technology's changed, but back then, I can remember when after the first few waves that this stuff really hit big. That the people really collectors, that there was, I guess for lack of a better word, there was an energy in the air that I can remember. Like you had those people you were competing against to get the figures. People would be waiting outside when the stores would open, and they would rush uh, just straight up to the Legends aisle. And if you were a guy looking, you could tell, just like instinct, that these people were going after the Legends figures. And sure enough, even though you did not know them, even though you did not know why they were there, they sure as heck went straight to the Legends figures, not any other figure line. Met some friends that way. Met some cool people. Like if you get stuff, they would hold it for you, or you'd hold it for them, stuff like that. Back then, you would have people, the workers in the store, would actually be dealing with the scalpers. In other words, they would hold back the figures and give it to their buddies who would pay them like some side fee. I've seen it happen. You know, I'm a first-hand witness to shenanigans like this. Instead of the workers putting out the figures, they would hold them for the people they knew, or they themselves would just keep it for themselves and sell it later on. And it happened a lot in different stores, stuff like that. I remember one store later on, when before the Legends ended, they fired the employees, and they got new employees because the I guess management caught those employees holding back stock and doing those shenanigan side deals. I remember, for example, at Target, there was this one guy. He had a shopping cart full of the legends, and he even took the box. Okay? A couple of weeks later at a convention, the same exact guy who I had seen in the store was selling all of the figures that he got for like triple the price or more. Total scalper there. And for me, it was just like being a fan of the stuff. I just want a figure for me and a figure to open. You know, just one, you know. And that was the thing with me. Just want one figure, not two, not a bunch of them, and with the intention of opening the figures. And even though the Toy Biz had all of these variant figures, and even though it was frustrating to get the variants, the truth is that it worked to build a frenzy for the line. Those variants really did get people going to try and find them. But as I said, the problem was a lot of these workers wouldn't put the stock out. They would hold it for themselves, or they would hold it for their buddies. And that's why you could almost never find them in the store. And back then, the creative energy of the line, it really, I can honestly say, since that time period, that, I guess for lack of a word, that energy has never been captured that I've really seen in a toy line since then. I mean, I'll tell you, right? If you know what Times Square in New York is, they had a Toys R Us there. It's still there, but when the store opened, there had to be at least 20 guys rushing to the Legend stuff to see what was there. At least 20 people. I went there a few times. Thankfully, it wasn't my main store to go to. But whenever I did go there, that's what would happen. As you can imagine, trying to get any figures you want, pretty much not going to happen there. And that's why I pretty much avoided that store. And this stuff would be, then you always had those scalpers or those people who you knew were just going to resell the figures. You absolutely knew they had no interest in opening it, and that they weren't Marvel fans, they weren't even collectors, they just want to make a quick buck. You knew those people. I'm sure you've seen them in the store, right? Now somehow they magically seem to get the rare figures a lot. And also, just thinking about the line, as I said, there was this energy in the line that people rushing, and it was like you had the instinct of, you know what this person's going for, and sure enough they went for it. I don't see that anymore. I really don't. Not that swarm of energy. I don't see that stuff on the DC stuff. I don't see that stuff on the Marvel Universe stuff. I don't see that energy on Star Wars, Transformers, or any other real line. I think if you're a long-time Marvel Legends fan, you know that energy I'm talking about in what I've been talking about here. I don't have to explain it to you. You probably have similar stories to tell and could agree with what I'm saying. And even now, even though the Legends community is big, I could tell that when the Hasbro changeover happened, on those first few lines, that energy was still there and people were still buying. And the funny thing was, around that time, the Legendary Comic Book Heroes, which was Toy Biz, started. So for a short time, you had Toy Biz, who were the original Legends makers, making 6-inch figures, and then you had Hasbro making 6-inch figures of Legends themselves, which is kind of funny when you think about it now. But even then, I can remember the people complaining, and just that whole energy I was talking about, that collective community, it really fell off the map. I mean, even now, with the last few waves and what what Hasbro has done, that people rushing to get the figures like that in the stores or waiting outside, it's not that creative energy, I guess that buzz, it's not there anymore. It's been long gone. I can remember stories of people I knew in the stores that they just totally gave up on the Marvel product in terms of Legends. You know, they just gave up on it. Hasbro was producing such crap to a lot of people that their enthusiasm, as well as Hasbro cutting out the comic books and increasing the prices, I guess all of these different factors factored into that buzz and that energy just fading away, that a lot of people did lose interest. Even though there's still a lot of Legends fans and buyers, I think the truth is a lot of collectors and a lot of Marvel fans who bought the original stuff are not following the Legends line now and are not following the Marvel stuff now. Maybe they're following Marvel Universe, maybe they're not. But I guess I'm saying a lot of the community, the buying community, just, they just stopped, or they moved on to other lines and they moved on to other things. That's, I think, really did happen. A reality to think about. And I don't think that energy, that creative magic will never be recaptured, even if Hasbro does a great job. It would be a long hill to climb to get back to the level that it was in terms of buyers. The good thing in a way is also the scalpers are not as prevalent anymore in collecting the Marvel stuff. I think, yeah, they might collect the Marvel Universe stuff, but it's a whole different level than it was at the Marvel Legends stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole different feel. It's not as competitive at all. I guess the closest I could talk about the Marvel Legends buzz from back then was sometimes you see, like during Christmas time, that there's a hot item for sale and everyone's rushing to get it. It was that type of energy, but the difference is the Christmas stuff is usually just one-time deals, and once that one item's picked up, that's it for the people collecting it. But here was a whole toy line that people were just wave after wave. People had interest in getting the stuff. It was, I guess, what made it hot was also the fact that not only did it appeal to fans of Marvel and it appealed to buyers, it also appealed to the scalper community, and that, like him or not, that's what also helped create that buzz and that energy of buyers to get the product, because it was a really hot line. And closing off this video, I just want to say, even though the stuff now may be good, you know what I'm talking about, of the hotness, I don't think it'll ever recapture that level that it was once, years ago. It just won't. A lot of people left the community back then, and a whole section probably just moved on to other stuff, or just might not even be collecting anymore. But thankfully on YouTube, as it's shown, there's still a good segment of collectors out there, a good collection of fans. Because you look at other toy lines, and how many other toy lines from the past that are either not made or made very little of, that have such a strong following. And there's not many toy lines that have such a strong following. And I guess this is my Marvel Legends video discussion, talking about the past of the stuff and my thoughts on it. So hopefully you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't, and thanks for watching. Beware my mighty hand, for I am Onslaught. I am not the host of the Marvel Legends reviews on this channel. I am just his herald, and he is approaching soon. You have been warned.